We got our human samurai back reading a book in front of a castle, and this was all in real time. This is just wild to me. I can't believe how well it works. YouTube, what's going on today? I'm Ryan. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Scope, the project that I've been working on, which is intended to be a playground for real-time generative AI. In the previous video, I showed you how to spin it up on a RunPod instance using the template we provide. In this video, I'll show you how to set it up locally, and then I'm going to demonstrate Vase in real time with LongLive. It's pretty cool. So you'll need a minimum of a 3090 to run this, given the VRAM requirements of most of these autoregressive models. But you'll be more comfortable on a 4090. I myself am fortunate enough to have a 5090 here, so it's pretty snappy for me. Installing this is literally a breeze. So we're just going to clone this repo. I'll include the link in the description below. Git clone. And then we're going to cd into the scope directory. And then we're going to run uv sync. If you don't have uv installed, you run pip install uv. But I already have it, so UV sync. This is an environment manager. It's lightning fast. So what's this, like 4 or 5 seconds? It just installed really heavy duty dependencies in like less than 5 seconds. It's absolutely wild. Then a one-time command to build the front end, UV run build. This is a web application, so it's just going to build the front end. That's it. It's installed. Anytime you want to run it, you just go UV run daydream dash scope. Okay. I already have it running in a different window, so I'll be right back. All right. Just confirm that it was still running in my other window. You can see I've gone to localhost 800. This is the default port that it will start on. I'm going to give that a hard refresh here. Okay. So we've got LongLive. Last time I showed you Kriya, it's like a pretty giant model that has a tough time running on a 5090. So this time I'm just going to show you LongLive. I'm just going to skip right to Vase because this is the coolest thing to me. We enabled all of the capabilities of Vase here, including R2V, first frame, last frame, conditioning frames, and layout control. I'm going to show you first frame, last frame, and some conditioning input. Starting with let's do it first frame here. So let's pick some image. Let's pick that image and do cardboard office worker. Let's see what happens. You can see I've got this LoRa loaded as well. It's a high-res fixed LoRa. It just kind of makes output better, so I like to use it. I'm using permanent merge here. Meaning that I can't adjust the strength of the LoRa at runtime. There is an alternate strategy called runtime PEFT that will let you. So here you can see that it's outpainted the image. So we gave it a square image, and it outpainted it to the desired resolution here. We can send first frame and last frame at will, so we can resend this image if we want and start over. And you can do cardboard. Man. I misspelled that. Interesting. You can change the images at will. Let's see what happens. Same prompt, different image. So you could see it's like everything's competing here. It's competing with the KV cache, which remembers that we were just outputting for a while. It was outputting this cardboard man. So the KV cache in this case sort of took control. But you can, if we just reset the KV cache, I could have used this manage cache button over here to reset it on the fly. But let's do our arcane Jinx looking at the camera. And one thing that I've found works pretty well is, so this character here was generated. This is actually a screenshot from an output video using this arcane LoRa. But if we take a starting image in the style of a video LoRa that I'm going to do here, it can help support the character for longer periods of time, which becomes pretty useful when you combine this with conditioning images, conditioning frames, like depth maps. You can do some pretty cool stuff, like transform a depth map and you like as a texture. So I'll show you in a second. Let's let this fire up. Interesting. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff you can do. You can also send like last frames in or both at the same time. So I'd mentioned in the previous video with these autoregressive models, we're working with chunks, and with long live, it's basically a chunk of 3 latents with temporal upsampling to 12. So we really get 12 pixel frames to go from one image to another. So doing first frame, last frame happens over a single chunk. But if you use 2 similar images, you can get some pretty cool effects. But the utility is definitely diminished in comparison to just using a first frame. So you can send a first frame, a last frame, or both, as you can see here. So let's go ahead and shut this down. I want to show you some stuff we can do with video input. I would show you camera, but OBS, I don't know how to do it. It's like, take it. I have 2 cameras. I still can't figure out how to get it to work. So let's get rid of that. What do I want to show you first? Let's do let's try this preprocessor video depth anything. So this will intercept the input image here and send a depth map to Vase. So this is not entirely ignored, but it's no longer used as the video input. Let's say, let's get rid of these for now. A samurai looking at a book. So we've got Vase is turned on, and we have use video input turned on, and we have video depth anything selected as a preprocessor. So it shouldn't need to reload it's going to reload the entire model because I took this LoRa off and I had permanent merge on. So we'll give it a second to reload everything and start up. Should only take like 15 seconds, but I'll be right back. There we go. All right. So at this resolution, we're ripping about 9 FPS, which, you know, we can do better. We could use a smaller VAE, like light VAE. I probably should have just done from the start. But you can see that it's like, let's make him, like, this is incredibly cool to me. This is all in real time. I do not know why it made it anime, but it's pretty sick anyways. So now we've got it's probably because standing in front of a castle, something to do with the training of long live. It associates this with a certain style. But we can do, see if that works. Yeah, there we go. So we got our dude back. We got our human samurai back reading a book in front of a castle, and this was all in real time. This is just wild to me. I can't believe how well it works. So we're only pulling like 9-10 FPS. If we switch to we need to reload the pipeline again to do this. That there's an open issue for that. We'll fix it eventually. But this will pull like an additional like 30% for us. So pretty sweet. So that's conditioning. We use depth there, but you can use scribble or canny. You can use optical flow, and you can do layout control too. I'm probably going to do like a separate video for that because I don't have it integrated in this interface, but it's pretty sweet stuff. I think I'm leaving out, oh yeah, pose. You can do open pose as well. And each of those has their strengths and weaknesses. We are currently developing a plugin system here. So you'll see a bunch of these built in, or you'll be able to install them very, very soon. For now, we just have video depth anything. These other ones I'm literally working on right now. So you could use them. They're public, but they're not fully working yet. All right, so you can see my masking plugin is not working that well. But what I really wanted to show you is the background is preserved. So take it this way. Inpainting works on the back end, and it's a work in progress on the front end. So if you wanted to go and vibe code something with inpainting, you could certainly go and do it. And there are actually examples in the code base for you to do that. We're trying to make this vibe coding friendly. So very exciting to bring plugins to the table soon. So what have I shown you? I showed you first frame, last frame. I showed you conditioning with a depth map. I showed you inpainting. So the other capability of Vase besides layout is R2V, or like reference frames. In the batch paradigm, it works very well. It's very powerful, and you can like inpaint an individual object into a video, which is very cool. In this case, it's since we're working with single chunks, like I had mentioned, it acts almost like a rough conditioning image instead. Something like a first frame conditioning. So I'll leave it up to you to try it out. It definitely has a different effect than using a first frame image, but it's also very, very different from the batch paradigm with Vase. So, all right, that's how you set up Daydream scope locally. That's a little bit about Vase. There's a million things that you can do, especially with this spout receiver that my boy Marco developed. So you can, pass depth maps in from external sources, like maybe from Unreal or Unity or whatever. Instead of using these preprocessors here, you could do the same thing with masks when I add it. So you can't currently do that with masks. So stay tuned for some more videos. I'm going to talk about probably SAM 3 might get its own video, because this is maybe the coolest thing I've seen all year. I know it's only January 20 something, but it's pretty sick. I'll definitely do a video on plugins. So any questions, leave them in the comments or come to the Discord. You can chat with all of us while we're working on this. You can also contribute. Pull requests are welcome. Yeah, I've been Ryan. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.